All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Let's do this NBA review real quick from last night. We'll talk about the Lakers and the Rockets in a minute, but let's get to the Bucks and the Heat. No Giannis Antetokounmpo at all. Last night, Chris Middleton did pour in, I think, 23 points, but that wasn't enough. He didn't get no help. Miami was a superior team. Outside of Jimmy Butler, I mean, the way Milwaukee playing Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton, Milwaukee should have had, three of the top five players or four players in the series, and it didn't turn out that way. Just was a bad matchup. The length of Miami didn't bother. The length of Milwaukee didn't bother Miami shooters, and that's how Milwaukee make their bones. You know what I'm saying? They length bothers a lot of teams, but Milwaukee wasn't scared. I mean, Bam did his thing. Jimmy did enough. Jimmy wasn't scoring 40 points every series, but he didn't have to. Nobody over the Miami Heat on the Miami Heat team last night scored over 20. So everybody was around that 16, 17 mark. Duncan Robinson didn't have a big game. He only poured in two. But, pretty much everybody else did their thing, and Miami is going to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Milwaukee won't. So they regressed. I think they lost to the Kawhi and them in the conference finals last year, and now they lose to a Miami Heat team in 5 games. So usually those small market teams don't like playing a lot of big contracts. Miami got that new arena, so they got to pay it off somehow. I mean, Milwaukee got that new arena, but they got to pay it off somehow. So, usually they paying Bledsoe some good money, they're playing Middleton a max deal, and now they looking to do a super max with Giannis. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't want to pay Giannis, or if they pay Giannis, they want to move somebody else. But obviously this team needs some some changes, and I think it starts if Giannis is going to stay. We're going to talk about that in another video. It's going to start with the coach. The coach suck. Mike Budenholzer. I know he got a good rep from coming from San Antonio and doing some things with Atlanta and being overachievers over there, but he suck. You know what I'm saying? And also, it falls on Giannis first. Giannis has not improved at all. You know what I'm saying? Giannis is just a bigger version of Ben Simmons. That's it. He can't shoot. He can't do a floater. He hasn't mastered the mid-range game. And then Mike Budenholzer doesn't allow him to play without the ball, where he can slash and get easy buckets moving off ball. So Budenholzer and Giannis is the two biggest problems, and then Eric Bledsoe just suck. Their biggest mistake was signing Eric Bledsoe in the middle of last season and not keeping Malcolm Brogdon. They should have kept Malcolm Brogdon. They would have kept Malcolm Brogdon, they would have won this series probably, or they'd have been more competitive. Eric Bledsoe always injured or don't show up. Bledsoe is like terrible. That was one of the worst moves they made, was paying Bledsoe and not playing Brogdon. Brogdon was doing the rookie of the year. He came in there. Brogdon also can play defense. Brogdon can also score. He can also facilitate. He also can guard some ones and twos. What can Bledsoe do? Not a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? He is not better than Brogdon other than in athleticism. So that was a mistake they made by keeping letting Malcolm Brogdon and trade him to Indiana and keeping Eric Bledsoe. So I don't know who made that decision. Bledsoe ain't that good. We had hosting him coming out of Kentucky, going to the Clippers and balling out there, but he's just not that good. And I think we all can establish that. So, Milwaukee got some decisions to make. Do they want to go all the way in, sign Giannis? You got to ask yourself, you bring Giannis back, what's going to be different? Bledsoe not going to step up. Middleton is what he is with Giannis on the floor. And Budenholzer couldn't make no adjustments in 2 years. So what could change? The major thing is can change is if they can change their offense around Giannis. Can they get Giannis to play off the ball, post up a little bit more? Can they get Giannis to, get a mid-range jumper, get a floater, so they can't pack the paint and consistently hit that mid-range jumper? Or can they get him to play off the post? Can they get him moving backdoor, cutting to the basket? Then he truly becomes unguardable. When you got the ball in your hands, you going 1-on-5. I mean, it's pretty much easy to stop him. But you take the ball out of his hand, you give it to Middleton and Bledsoe, and you run him off some screens, and he able to cut to the basket, or you come off a screen, off a curl, he able to hit a mid-range jumper. Now they can't double you. Now they can't hone in on you. You got the ball, and all the 5 defenders can pack the paint. Now if you get him slashing and cutting and going back door, then he becomes unguardable. Alley-oops, you get him playing out the post. You know what I'm saying? They crash in, he kick it out to Bledsoe for an easy 3. So the biggest thing could change with all the problems here is Giannis expanding his game with a mid-range and a floater in a post-up game. And from a schematic point of view, Ken Budenholzer convinced Giannis, like they convinced Jordan, to play without the ball and move without the ball and get easy buckets and let Middleton and Bledsoe play make for him. If those things don't happen, it really ain't no hope for Milwaukee fans. All those things have to happen for them to get over the hump with that core. What's gonna be different? Who can they bring in? If they do, who want Bledsoe? I don't think nobody want Bledsoe. Who want Middleton? They can't do nothing. The roster is what it is. They can draft good at the end of rounds and hope they can come up with a Kuzma, Gobert, Emmanuel Ginobili, but that's a pipe dream. So at this point for them, it's basically getting Giannis to play without the ball, and they couldn't get LeBron to do it. I'm not paying Giannis supermax money. I don't care how many times MVP he is. If he can't expand his game to mid-range, to learn how to post, to learn how to get a floater and learn how to move without the ball, then that's the problem. That's the problem that Houston having right now. We'll talk about Houston in a minute. Everybody can focus in on Harden and Westbrook. All they do is drive and kick. And everybody watch them. Nobody moving. Westbrook not cutting to the basket. Eric Bledsoe not coming. Eric Gordon not coming off screens and catching and shooting. Everybody can hone in on that offense. And it seems like everybody has adopted that Mike D'Antoni isolation, pound the ball and going 105. LeBron been doing it for years. He just like really good. Steve Kerr, the reason why Kevin Durant and them was so dominant, because they didn't mind sharing the ball and moving the ball, and everybody stayed in motion. Clay coming off screens, Steph coming off screens, Draymond finding Clay cutting to the basket. Like, that's like the platinum standard, that and Popovich system from ball movement and not having a pedestrian isolation basketball. But we talk about Giannis later in another video. Should he stay or should he go? And what he had to say about it. But Milwaukee, they hit their ceiling right now with Budenholzer, unless Giannis elevate his game and they make some schematic differences on offense. So that is what it is on that. All right, let's talk about the Houston game last night. Houston was leading for the majority of that game, where they was going back and forth. And down the stretch, they just melted like Denver did last night. To me, you already know the outcome. I'll be glad when football get here, because I'm tired of holding in on basketball. I was so bored watching them games yesterday. It didn't make no sense. It's like WWE. It's scripted. They know who's going to win, but the difference is, from WWE, you really always don't know who's going to win. In this situation, we know it's going to be the two LA teams from the beginning. So we knew Denver didn't have a chance. We knew Dallas really didn't have a chance, especially when Porzingis went down. We knew Portland didn't have a chance. And we knew, Houston didn't have a chance. Houston struggled with OKC, and people praising Bron and AD. You supposed to be dominating this series. Y'all the two tallest niggas on the court. You know what I'm saying? AD had 26 points last night. LeBron had, 36 or something like that. You supposed to dominate. This Rocket team just went life and death with a team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs to Oklahoma City. So why are we praising them for doing what they're supposed to do? Oh, LeBron jumped so high and he dominated. He 29 points in the first half, and you supposed to do that. This ain't no elite team. You want to surprise me? Do that versus the Clippers. That's how you want to surprise me. The Rockets, we already knew they wasn't going to do shit. They won game one, similar to Portland. Motherfuckers in my inbox, oh, thought you said the Rockets was some bums. Now, where y'all motherfuckers at now? It's one game. Where y'all at now? It's one game. I told you the Lakers was going to win. It's no way they not getting LA versus LA in the Western Conference Final. They can give a fuck about what happened out East. It's no way they not getting LA versus LA in the West. So all you dudes holding your breath that James Harden and Westbrook is going to play. Westbrook is playing horrible. He really getting exposed in this system. He can't catch and shoot. He drive. He losing the ball. He getting exposed. I told y'all Westbrook ain't no great player. He damn sure ain't no point guard neither. I don't rate him or Steph Curry as a point guards. They not point guards. Just because they got a position that say point guard. LeBron been a point guard forever. But they just list him as a small forward. Ain't no positions in this league. Westbrook ain't no point guard. James Harden more of a point than he has. Even when he was Oklahoma City, he controlled the ball coming off the bench. And at the end of the day, this should be a sweep. LA should be ashamed. Clippers cool. Denver's got a good team, especially if they was able to get Will Barton. They got a really good young team that's going to develop. They can develop Bolo and Marco Porter Jr. They got a good team. So I understand that going back and forth with them. But Houston Rockets suck unless they get hot one game and they hit a lot of threes. Should no team that don't start nobody over 6'6", 6'5" be with you. Especially Westbrook. He playing for the Lakers. They might as well give him a 00 or 0 Lakers jersey. Terrible. And right now, this could be the end of athletic Westbrook. To be honest, this could be the end of the athletic Westbrook. When you start dealing with them injuries and he's starting to get older too, he put a lot of miles on that body. This could be the end of athletic Westbrook. Mid-range sucked, layups sucked, three-pointers sucked. That was a huge mistake bringing him in here. You know, if CP3 couldn't work, this wasn't going to work. Because CP3 can catch and shoot. It was just that D'Antoni wouldn't let him handle the rock. But last night, you know, they hung in there, but playoff Rondo was the difference down the stretch. He started hitting threes. You know, I don't know what they're thinking in the backcourt. I guess they're thinking defense. Caldwell Pope and Danny Green didn't do nothing. One scored 2, and I think the other one scored 6. So Vogel, he refusing to play J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters because he don't want to give up defense. So he'd rather give up offense for defense. You know, Kuzma, he sparked him last night too with some hustle plays. He had 14 off the bench or something like that, and Rondo scored in 21 points. That was unexpected. You know, him getting hot down the stretch, and you know, basically Brian did the grunt of his work in the first half. So, not sure how Covington and AD doing after the injuries. You know, it's a little sore the next day, but Houston was never in the game. All right, Houston was never in the game. So for all you guys that thought Houston had a chance at the game one, they was never in the game. The referees will make sure the Lakers and the Clippers make it, regardless. No matter how bleak it is, that's their golden goose. And what's so sad about it is that not an NFL starting. And if the NFL go out there and they trot out a good product, the NBA in trouble. Even if they only play on Monday and Sundays until the Thursday kickoff, they're in trouble. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Reach out if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Don't forget to check out our NBA Talk playlist. One time for the one time we gone.